Welcome back to our Pilgrim's Walk. We are reviewing the very best and the very worst of social media takes on Plymouth Argyle. You're very welcome. Adam says, Plymouth Argyle are going down without a care. These players all need to leave. I'm gutted because we have such great fans who deserve a successful team, not getting batterings every single week. We'll get our panel's view on whether that is it now for Plymouth Argyle following that crushing defeat to Sheffield Wednesday. Plus, we're hearing some fans hashtag music out. Another fraud of a manager we've appointed, some saying. We'll get our panel's very controversial views on that. And we're also getting some calls to actually pack it in and just start the youth players now away at Portsmouth this week. We'll talk about wages and who the top earners are. What does that mean for the future? And who do we want to come up from League One? Not that actually we could care too much about it, but we're going through all the leagues. We've got Jadon and Rhys, of course, back with us, and Chris is back with us from long trips to Manchester and Hull. Chris, how are you?
Yeah, perfect, Mark. Yeah, loving life.
Right, let's just do a quick check on how we all are in terms of do we still believe or not. Jadon, are you resigned to relegation yet or not?
Yeah, we're definitely going down, aren't we? I don't think there's much coming back from it now. Obviously, 7 points from safety because of the goal difference kind of thing. That's quite a difference, isn't it now? And I don't think we have sort of the fight to come back from that. The way we're playing, I think it can only really get worse, if anything.
It's hard to imagine how. Rhys, are you on Jadon's boat here?
I've sort of accepted that it's probably we're not going to get out of this now. I think if we do, I think it's a blessing in disguise. It's a nice thing, but I think I accepted it now, and it's sort of the rest of the season is what it is, isn't it? A little bit now.
Yeah.
That's 2 out of 3. Let's see if we're full house. Chris, you are the most optimistic fan I've ever met, including all our 24 clubs that we talk to across this network, and I mean that sincerely, my friend. But have you given up?
Yeah, I'm a realist, Mark. If I can take you back 10 days to when we went to the Etihad, we absolutely played really well up there, put on effort, put on a performance, put on passion. Knew we were never going to win, but we ended up going up in front and getting 1-0 in the lead, and that's all I ever asked for. But then 3 days later, we play Hull. We know they're a competitor. We know we got to get 3 points up there. We didn't even have a shot on target in 90 minutes. Horrendous. So with that, you expect a response on Saturday at home to Sheffield Wednesday, because you know all of those players would have been given a rollicking all week. What happened? It was part 2. It was exactly the same. We were brilliant first 4 minutes.
First 3 minutes was a proper reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, four chances in 4 minutes. Never got another one after that. We were terrible in our defending. I mean, we got their first goal on goal. Tried to clear it, and a guy came in with his right foot instead of his left foot, and he's left-footed, and he put it in his own net. That's how embarrassing it was. And yeah, as I said, I'm a realist. I'll be up Portsmouth. I'll be cheering the lads on. I'm not a booer. I'm not a leave early person, but I am a realist, and I think we're Div 1 bound.
If you were to beat Portsmouth, and it might just be after the bit of the Lord's Mayor show here, I know, in terms of for them, but then you've got Derby. We could be sat here. I mean, I'll keep the faith a little bit. I mean, I didn't watch the Wednesday game. I did watch you against Hull, and I thought you were awful. I've got to admit. I think the referee didn't help. I think there's no very obvious second goal was offside. But yeah, I don't think you'd have probably scored if you were laying there now. Yeah, our role on this podcast is to show the very best and the very worst of social media takes and get the panel's view in it. And I'm going to put one up there now, which is not an isolated one, and it's one I didn't think we'd be putting up, but I want to get your reactions to it because it symbolises that. Stephen Hawkins Football says, in relation to a post about music, say, correct, he's a talker. We have all seen enough and heard enough. Get him gone. I know there's a lots of anger online about the results and the performances, but it has led Jadon this week for the first time for people to say, we've made a mistake. Look, he's a nice guy. He's a good talker, but just get someone in for 8 games. Just see what we can do with someone else, because this isn't working. What do you stand on it?
No, no, I completely disagree. Obviously, the club have gone for a different approach this time, which is what we needed to do. We've gone for a similar approach to the last few managers that we've brought in. They've all failed on us. And yeah, we've gone for something different, and it's obviously a long-term kind of approach and plan. Obviously, he's come in. They want him in for 3.5 years. See what he can do in that time. So, if we go down, they're obviously going to keep him, and we're going to build on with him like that. Give him a couple of transfer windows, see what we can do. It's not a 8-game plan to get a manager in and see what we can do in that time. See if he can keep us up. It's further than that, and he could bring us up next year, and we could excel from there the next time we come up. So yeah, I don't see how anyone can agree with that really, when he's only had 8 to 10 games so far.
Rhys, do you agree with that? And if you do, is he the right person to then to be in League One with you next season?
I 100% agree with Jadon in the sense of there's only one group of people to blame with the position we're in at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm not even putting Rooney in that group, because at the end of the day, Rooney should never have been in that position to be in charge of the club. The lack of the backing that they had of Foster, the lack of backing that they gave Rooney, arguably the lack of backing because we didn't go and get sort of midfield or striker in January. All right, he only had 2 weeks by the time he had settled in and stuff. We've got to stop this sacking managers left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I mean, when Lowe came in, the first season, yeah, we got straight up League Two. Second season was a tough season, and there was plenty of opportunities. We could have gone, right, let's get rid of him and go somewhere else, and done a Watford where they just get rid of managers for the fun of it. How is that solving anything? We've got to stop this, or it's all the manager's fault. The last 2 managers have been appalling. I think this one will come right. It's just we've got to give him time, and the board have got to back it. They've got to start ignoring these other projects that are going on and start focusing on what actually brings in the money of a football club, and that's the team.
Yeah. Well said, both of you. Chris, this was one that kind of sums up, I think, what Rhys was saying there. Inaction in the January window now proving decisive. We were crying out for a striker and a midfielder who could win the ball. Yes, we were happy with the 2 defenders. Should have appointed a manager sooner and let him say who he wants, not Dewsnip. Do you agree with that, and that the anger should really be pointed towards the board?
No, I totally agree. I mean, at the end of the day, Musley actually got 3 decent defenders in. I mean, we were all waxing lyrical a couple of weeks ago how good they were, but I've said since the summer, and it's not. I'm not talking out of tune like something after the event. We've been missing something up front. We haven't had any strikers. We got one in on loan who ended up being made of glass. TJ, he's shocking when he has performed, and we got another one in who Beidou. We brought him in on stats alone. And we find out now he can't play very well because he's tired. So we're down to Ryan Hardy, and when Ryan Hardy's out injured, we got no one else to put that bloody ball in the net. And if you don't score goals, you don't win games. As simple as that. We can stop people scoring, which we have done over recent weeks, but if you don't put the ball in the net, you ain't going to get a win. And it's horrendous that we can't continue now. We haven't won away since I went Rotherham last May. And that's the last time we've won away. No other team has had to suffer like we have in our away performances. And if you don't score goals, you don't win games. And that's where we are at this moment.
Yeah, I feel for you. I just want to make it all right, but there was a tweet here, Jadon, about the formation, and I want to get your views on this, and Rhys chip in as well if you want. Yorkshire Green says, we're still playing this 3-4-2-1 that has seen us struggle game after game. He keeps changing the players, but not the formation. Teams just play high and wide, which means we just have to drop deep. It's all too easy. All Wednesday had to do was watch the whole game, and that's on the manager again. So it's not blameless in this, is he, Jadon?
There's always a factor to blame. Of course, in the manager, there was times in the game, even the first goal, and the second goal they scored, where I felt a few other fans around me felt they were taking the mick a bit, in terms of passing around us, and just how easy it was, to just slice for us, but there's got to be a change, somewhere. But the problem is the striker. We're not going to score goals without a striker until Hardy's back. There's no hope really, in terms of winning games, because we can't score goals, and everyone feels going into every game, we're not going to score a goal. Everyone was saying to me before Sheffield Wednesday game, none of them front three are going to score a goal today. There's no chance, and that's how it ended up being. The formation needs to change. Probably give another one a go. But yeah, there's so much to fix.
Are we at the point now where if it's not working now, is it a case of you stick with it because in the end it will come good? But unfortunately, what other option have we got with the players we got at times? We've got Houghton and Randall's out for the next 2 games after gobbing off at a referee. You've got Houghton. I mean, he on his day is a good player, but JB is just. I can't understand how he keeps starting under him. But what other option we got formation wise? I don't think we've got the players. We've got players who can't play in a 2 in the back. Haven't got players who can play in a 4 in the midfield. We've got players can't play on their own up front, and it's none of it suits. None of these players suit Music other than maybe 2 or 3.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, Chris, and this has been a suggestion from a couple of tweets. Matt says Music is going to have to promote a few players up into senior training squad to send the message your opportunity at Argyle is now under threat. Oscar Dean, Tegan Finn and Kieran Birch would give us more of a threat up front. A couple of them saying, look, surely we've got something in the youth system which is better than this. Any thoughts, Chris? I don't know how well you know those particular players.
Yeah, we have got some decent players, Mark. We've got Freddie Asaka, we've got Tegan Finn, we've got Caleb Roberts. They're all capable of stepping up to the breach and coming into that first team. And I'll tell you now, they would put more effort in than what I'm seeing some of those so-called professionals putting in. Going back to the lad's points, I totally agree. You've got to give Music time. He's inherited basically a bag of shit. And when you've got it, you can mould it, you can turn it around, you can put perfume all over it, but it's still a bag of shit at the end of the day. Now, he's brought in decent defenders, and there's issues with our recruitment. That's where we're falling foul. We've had bad recruitment for the last 18 months, and people haven't got to grips with it. Hopefully, Music will.
Yeah,
absolutely. So eloquent.
Sorry about that.
No, it's absolutely. It's documented. Right. I mean, if you don't beat Derby, it's definitely over. But beating Derby are terrible. I know they beat Blackburn, but Blackburn are on a bit of a sticky one. So you can beat Derby, and then we'll look at your fixtures next week. You've still got some winnable home games to come, apart from Leeds. Maybe Leeds will be up by that point. You never know. So I'm keeping the faith for you. I mean, even if you're not. Good luck this week. Thank you. Thanks for showing that. If you just come across the channel, we do this every week. 20 minutes of Plymouth chat, looking at the good and the bad of social media takes. We also have a look at some other things that are going on in football, and wages and wage structures have been a bit of a discussion point this week. If we have a look at where Plymouth sit, this is alleged, by the way. This is not confirmed. This is from Salary Sport. You sit there, the second lowest wages, only Portsmouth below you. I mean, Chris, does that surprise you at all when you look at teams that have just come up like Derby and Oxford, that they're spending more money on wages than even you are?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, Mark, to be fair. I mean, not only doesn't surprise me, unfortunately, some of our wages have been totally wasted. I'm understanding that one of our loan guys, Obafemi's, on allegedly £18,000 a week. I wouldn't give him 18,000 washers. You know, how can they warrant paying somebody like that 18 grand? It's just beyond belief.
Yeah.
Go out.
I've got it here, but it's a bit small. Yeah.
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 My beer fridge. He's about the same
Yeah.
height and about the same shape. The only thing is, my beer fridge is useful because it keeps my beer warm. Cold. He's absolutely useless, and you can't trap cement.
We call him the ship's bollard in work.
Do they? Yeah. He's like a little Ewok running around from Star Wars, but he's never. And he's allegedly a striker. It's embarrassing. 18 grand a week. No, got to sort things out with our recruitment and what we have been paying. It's embarrassing.
Anything on there surprising you, Rhys, apart from what Chris has already mentioned?
So Victor Poulsen. I mean, I think the thing that frustrates me is the start of this season. We were promised actually a bigger budget. We were promised a £7 or £8 million increase in our budget. It clearly hasn't happened. It's clearly gone somewhere else. And I think there's going to be questions in the clubs when the accounts come out next year, whenever they come out, because money seems to have just disappeared a little bit this year, and no one really knows. They're doing Brickfields, they're doing a new academy, but that's meant to be funded elsewhere. Yeah, the increased TV revenue doesn't seem to have hit the club. Neither is the money from Whittaker. All right, it was late, but we sold players in the summer, and it just doesn't seem to have materialised.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, when we do the Borough podcast later, our headline is going to be "How bad is Morgan Whittaker?"
There's no refund on that.
Oh, listening on that.
Oh, they want their money back.
Yeah,
that'll cheer me up.
Oh yeah,
they absolutely want their money back. Swansea fans delighted this weekend in
Oh yeah, they played Swansea, did I forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah, the Morgan Whittaker derby. Right, Jadon, just devil's advocate on all this money ones. Does owners need any credit for just keeping you solvable and keeping you as a well-run club and not being over expansive when you can't afford to be?
I mean, yeah, you got to be sustainable, don't you? I mean, the whole point of our project is to be sustainable in the Championship, but we're not staying in the Championship, so it's not sustainable. So yeah,
Okay.
you need to spend money. Obviously, we're supposed to have a bigger budget, like Rhys just said. We're supposed to have a bigger budget this year that we haven't spent. I've questioned where the Whittaker and the Cooper money's gone, because it's obviously not into transfers or anything like that. So that's a bit concerning. And then, yeah, we're supposed to be getting investment next year. Great. That's when we're down. So yeah, so we'll have to come back up when we're getting investment. Apparently, the investment is not relative to whether we go down or up. So if we go down, we still get the same amount of investment and stuff like that. So we need to use it properly. We need to use it on transfers and not wherever else it's going, because no one knows where it's going.
I think that's the thing in it. It's the sustainability side. It's finding a balance between. We've had years and years and years when we're in administration, no investment going into the ground, the training ground, all that. But now we've got to find a balance between investing in those projects like Brickfields, which are needed long term, but then we've forgotten completely about the short term team and actually building a team that's competitive at the league you're in. And we've forgotten about it this year.
I think the time to have expanded was January. With you speculate to accumulate, and you splash out a bit in January to get that striker in. That's hoping to get your goals. We didn't do that. We missed a trick there, and unfortunately, we're going to pay the consequence of it. Our chairman talks about spending wisely rather than unnecessary. It was necessary in January, and we didn't do it, and we're now going to pay the obvious consequence of it.
then it becomes wise, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
You
saying.
know?
You've got to speculate to accumulate. We didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels cruel now to end this particular video on talking about the 3 teams we'd like to see come up from League One, given we're likely to head in the opposite direction. But we're asking all our 24 clubs across the network what affinities we have. So we'll do it. Apologies, gentlemen. One name each, please. We reckon it's between these 8 particular clubs which might be going in the opposite direction. Birmingham are already there, but it's not about who you think's coming up, Chris. It's going to be about which one team do you think deserves a shot in the Championship, and for what reasons? Exeter aren't there. We don't need to worry too much about them. They might be heading in the opposite direction themselves. Chris?
Well, because of the amount of money that they threw at it, and they have done, fair play to them, Birmingham.
Okay.
When you're spending out 13 million on one player, you deserve something out of it at the end of the season.
All right. Rhys?
Only because I really, really cannot be bothered with playing them because of all the attention it brings, and not because they deserve of it, not because of the hero story and all this, but Wrexham. I cannot be bothered with playing with them and all this American stuff that they bring into it. It's just boring.
Okay. Jadon?
I'm going to basically repeat what Rhys said in the fact that I can't be bothered in playing them because the style of football is so bad. Wickham, I don't want to play them next season. And yeah, Birmingham, they will go up and they deserve to go up.
Okay. None of you chose Bolton and your old friend Stephen? No?
Nah.
Okay.
Bit of a clue there, isn't it?
Yeah. Fair enough. I'd have to ask. Right, thanks very much for watching. Do join us next week when, of course, we're looking at the final. 8 games will be left when we see you again. 8 games. Wow. And
We'll try and be more positive next week, yeah?
International break. Yeah, you'll beat Derby. I'm going to put money on it.